spent my life, prior to going into coaching, in corporate. So I worked for large multinationals mostly. I realised that all my success as a manager in that time was achieved through other people. So my style as a manager was always a coaching one. So moving into coaching as a career, full-time, that I do full-time, was a logical progression for me. Every businesses need a coach, some more so than others, but every business can benefit from a coach to a certain extent. If only just to hold up a mirror to them so they can see what's going on, what's really going on, so they can see what's going on in the environment, so they can examine their numbers more closely. Everybody needs it to some extent. What I love, I think, most is the reaction I get when business owners begin to realise that the problems they considered were the largest when they started to work with me have started to recede. So for example, when they see that their team is really starting to work, they've managed to delegate things to the team which they previously wouldn't have dreamed of, and the team are handling it better than they ever would have before, and they don't have to worry about it again. Unfortunately, I never had what you would call a business coach work directly with me. I never had anyone whose full-time job was to work as a coach. But I was lucky enough to have met other managers, both colleagues and people I worked for, who would have coached me on to achieve more in my life. I probably wouldn't be here today if it weren't for them. First of all, I am a very good listener. I'm into detail. I'm also very patient. People who have met me tell me that they have told me things that they don't tell anyone else. So it amazes me when I meet people for the first time, the type of personal information that people will give me, and I think that's because I'm just a good listener. I like to teach business owners how to be in control of what's going on rather than be controlled by it. I do that primarily by helping them understand the numbers that drive the success within their business. In many cases they have not done anything like this, or at best they might look at the numbers once a year. With me they'll look at the numbers once a week. And the second part is to get them to work on their business rather than in their business. And knowing your numbers is the first step towards doing that. Because I want to have somebody to keep them focused. So keep them focused on the priorities of what they're going to achieve from week to week, so they'll be where they want to be within 90 days and where they'll be at the end of the year. But also I think business owners, owning a business can be a very lonely place. And I think business owners like having somebody who's independent and doesn't have any axe to grind, just to talk to and review things with on a weekly basis. You should get me to come and be your coach if you want to achieve the things that you've thought about but haven't done anything about. You should get me to come be your coach if you haven't even gotten the time recently to think about where you want to go. If you want to go to achieve levels far in excess beyond what you've ever dreamed about, then you should get me to come and be your coach.